there's nothing wrong with TV. I like watching TV, but I don't want to watch TV all day long. Hey guys, and welcome back to Motherhood by Me. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about reducing screen time for our little ones and even for adults, you know, even for ourselves. And obviously there's a pandemic going on, so it's kind of like we're stuck at home with our kids. So it's hard to reduce the screen time, but we need to at least try. And it is a struggle, like Lord knows I'm struggling, but I'm definitely trying. And yeah, and also I just want to say a little disclaimer: if you see these random three pieces, like I know my hair looks odd right now, like don't pay attention to that. I'm in between hairstyles, learning to do my hair myself, practicing, and you know, playing around with color. So just, you know, just ignore that odd hair. And also, I was sick. The last video I filmed, I was not feeling well, but I didn't want it to keep me down, so I decided to film that video, the last video. And honestly, I was just not feeling it, but I did it. So right now I'm feeling completely well. I'm 100% back. All my energy's back up. I feel so good. So if you see me being a little energetic in this video, just know it's because I'm thanking God that I'm no longer ill. I'm back to my normal self and I feel good about it. So the first one is just simply allocating time. Now this is up to you and what you feel how much TV or screen time your kid needs. For me, I read somewhere that someone of my son's age, so I'm talking about my older son because my little one doesn't really watch anything at the moment. I read that he only needs an hour of TV a day. Now he watches way more than an hour, but in the past we would let him watch lots and lots and lots, you know, because it's like a way of distraction. It's like a babysitter. It's like, you know, you can just plop him in front of the TV while you get on with what you have to get on with, but at the end of the day it's not good. And actually the other day he'd watch TV from 10 till 2, and I know that's 4 hours, but after 2 p.m. we went out for a walk, you know, all of that. And when we came home, I just found ways to distract him and to prevent him from watching TV. Before I knew it was already 8 o'clock at night and he hadn't even asked. We kept the TV off because normally we would tell him not to watch, but we'll be watching. But this time we just kept the TV off. He didn't ask for TV. I'm gonna try the 4 hours a day, and I know for some people that's like, oh my gosh, that's too much. Listen, it's an improvement from what he was doing before, like he was watching and doing. So my next point is to always give warnings. If your child is watching something, whatever it is, TV or on the tablet, on the phone, don't just, let's say you give them 2 hours to watch, you know, don't just be like, oh, it's done, and you snatch it away from them. They'll burst into tears. If they're anything like my son, if I don't give him warning and I just tell him, okay, turn it off now, he'll start crying. So with this method, he still cries, but it's something that we're working on. So I'll let him know. I'll say 10 minutes, like 10 minutes left now. And then maybe I'll go down in sets of 2. So I'll say, okay, you got 8 minutes left, 6, 5, 6, 4, 2. Okay, you got 2 minutes left now. And every time I say how much time he's got left, I always say to him, you're not going to be watching anymore. Sometimes I'll say it's going to be mommy and daddy's turn to watch if he's watching on the TV. Just give him those prompts. And yes, at the end of when I get to 0, like 0 minutes left, sometimes he'll cry, but sometimes he'll happily give it to me. He'll turn off the phone because we've got a spare phone that he sometimes watches on. So sometimes he'll turn it off himself and he'll give it to me gladly. And I feel like that just works better. And the more you do it, it becomes practice, and kids just love that repetition. So the next one is if you just sit down and do some sort of activity with them, you can play with them. I do sit down and play with my kids. Like, obviously this is a mainly boys household, so I'd be playing with trucks and trains and robot toys, and obviously girls can play with those too, but they're quite boyish stuff. And yeah, I build Legos with him. Sometimes I read books to them, and once I start reading books, he doesn't want me to stop. Let's go again. Let's go again. A bit of a struggle. I just tell my husband to take over when I'm tired of it, because sometimes you get fed up because they like that repetition. He'll happily let me read him a book 4 times over, but for me it's like by the second time I'm like, okay. Yeah, so toys, books, and he has this sand he also plays with. It's like fake sand, and I just put like a little plastic in the kitchen, not on the carpet, in the kitchen, and I block off the kitchen so my little one doesn't disturb him, and my older one will happily play for a good hour. We have to literally tear him away to just stop playing, because he'll play and play. So mind you, all these points I'm giving are what you can do to, what's the word, to give them something else to do other than being on the tablet or TV, whatever, you know, you're giving them other things to do. So the next one is more like physical activities, so singing, dancing, and also arts and crafts. But this, so okay, I'll go with the singing. He loves singing nursery rhymes. Half the time I don't even know the words, so obviously you can go on YouTube, look up some nursery rhymes and just learn them. The ones that I sing to him are the ones that they sing to them at nursery, and they've got like all the actions and the numbers and all these things, and he absolutely loves that. The other day I think I sang him like 7 nursery rhymes, and that's a first for me. I was doing all the action, singing, dancing and jumping, and he absolutely loved it. And so yeah, singing and dancing. And then like if he hears music, he'll dance. He'll just get up and dance. If he sees me dancing, he'll get up and dance and join me. So that's something. And also games. I've probably mentioned this in my previous videos, but I do play I play tag with my son.
Swear to God, I don't know how I got put in charge of babysitting. Do I need something to take the edge off? I will slap fire from...
I play hide and seek with him. We play in the house, and that's also something. Obviously, after like 5 minutes, I'm already bored, but he absolutely loves it, and he'll hide in the same place over and over again. So yeah, hide and seek. We play tag, whatever you call it, and yeah, he loves doing those things. Next one, number 5, is quiet time. Now my son doesn't really have quiet time because he's just loud all the time. But it could also be like nap time, so it doesn't have to necessarily like mean they're sitting in a corner quietly, because which 3-year-old is going to do that? So it could be nap time. And the past 2 or 3 days he's been having naps. He doesn't normally have naps, he normally just stay awake until night time. But the past 3 days I think he's been having naps. Maybe he's having a growth spurt, maybe, I don't know, maybe he's just tired. So we try to encourage him to have his nap once a day. I feel like I forgot to mention learning when you're doing sit down activities, when you're singing and dancing. That could also be learning. He does have a drawing board that we use, and an abacus that we use to teach him. So you could also incorporate that into your day, teaching him things, simple things like writing his name. Like I've already mentioned this before, but obviously, like, you know, writing his name, numbers, alphabets, like all of that. Like kids do enjoy doing that. Well, not all kids, but most kids, they just love all that stuff. They love learning. He doesn't really have chores like that, but he kind of does. So like in the morning when I'm changing both of them, my older one wears a nappy when he's going to bed, only at night time. And sometimes he automatically knows that he has to throw his nappy and his brother's nappy in the bin. He will just do it straight away. Or like after they've had bath time, he likes to hang their towels up on the door. So just little things like that, he loves doing them. They're not really chores as such, but they're little responsibilities that he likes doing that every now and again. So obviously if you just try to incorporate little simple tasks they could do throughout the day, every day, they'll get used to it. And some people give their kids stickers if they do well. Personally, I don't really do that. I just give him verbal praise. I just say. And the next one is going out for an adventure. Kids like animation, they like characters. So sometimes I'm not the most like animated person, I'm really not, but I try to be. Like when we go outside, if we're going for a walk, or if I'm taking him to nursery, I'll make a point. Like he himself likes to point out numbers he sees around or whatever, but I do try to say, oh, look at the trees, look how tall they are, what color the leaves, look at all these sticks, oh, look at that squirrel, we just basically point out what we see, and that's the adventure in itself, because it's not like you're just walking in silence. You're actually engaging in dialogue with your child. It's also a good bonding experience. It's a good learning experience. We started to, because we were not, my husband and I were not always like the best people in terms of like cutting down on our son's TV time and stuff like that. And not even just me and my husband, just people in general. I feel like if we go visit friends or my mum's house, people are always on their phones. It's just something that we've started doing. But we have a new rule that we're not allowed to have phones at the table when we're eating. So we just have to eat together as a family, no phones. I'm judging any parents who do that, but I've seen some parents who their kids are eating, they've got the pad in front of them, and obviously everybody's parenting style is different. But for me personally, we were doing that as well. Like my son would be watching and not really eating, and I just said no. Parenting method I'm trying to do is one that is like lead by example. I just realized, like, obviously, like, things that I do, my son is gonna copy me. How I speak, how I act, how I react to things, what I eat, all of that, my son is copying me, and it's a big responsibility. We've started reducing TV time. If you hear my little one, just ignore that sound. But sometimes we keep the TV off until maybe 12 o'clock. Not in the past where 8 o'clock when we wake up, turn the TV on. No. So now we cut down on TV, and it's actually great. Like, it's giving me personally more time to really think, be in my mind. What do I want to do with my life? Or what do I want to do with my day? I feel like I'm happier that I watch less TV, because when you sit in front of the TV, at the end of the day, you just sat there and that's it. But when you're away from the TV, you start to think, or for me at least, I'm like, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? I write in my journal. I just make plans for the future, plans for myself, get into prayer. It just gives you more time to do other things. There's nothing wrong with TV. I like watching TV, but I don't want to watch TV all day long. And the last point, but not the least, is a routine. Kids just love routine. So I feel like finally, I think I'm in a routine with both my kids. We do have some sort of routine going. When you give them time to watch, when they eat their food, when bath time is, when they can watch TV or their devices, nap time, bedtime, dinner time, all of that. Kids love a routine. It might seem like they don't at first, but you have to be persistent. You have to persevere. And I promise you, if you give it time, you'll be surprised at how your kids will sort of change and transform. The kids get away with what you let them get away with. Do you know? So if you're letting them watch TV all day long, well, that's what they're gonna do. But if you introduce fun things for them to do, things that they like, try to find things that your kids like. Very important. Anyway, I don't want this video to be way too long. That's pretty much end of this video. Feel free to leave a comment down below about your parenting techniques and how you work on reducing screen time for your kids, because for me, I honestly want to keep learning and growing as a mom. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.